Hello, my name's Dan Payne. I'm the videographer of the video you're about to see. It is regarding young people that have gone on mission trips, the people they've served, and the impact that it's had on their lives.
Hi, my name is John. I currently work at Panera Bread part-time while pursuing a finance degree at Northern Illinois University. In the summer of 2017, I took a mission trip to Antigua, Guatemala, where we helped build and distribute wheelchairs to people in need. It was a very impactful trip for both for me and for the people that we helped get wheelchairs to. One person in particular that we built a wheelchair for sticks out in my mind. He's a good example of the challenges that just ordinary people face in developing countries such as Guatemala. His story is that he worked for a gas distributing company and he drove a truck for them. And that company was being extorted by gangs who just said, pay us money or we'll do some damage to you and your company. And this company did not pay the extortion, so the gang did. They shot at one of the delivery trucks that this person happened to be driving. The man was shot in the neck and he was paralyzed from the waist down. So he had no mobility through no fault of his own. And this happened over a year before we got him a wheelchair. So for 1 full year, this man could not move on his own. If he had to move, one of his family members would have to carry him around. He couldn't leave the house. He just couldn't get the medical attention that he needed. Now that this man has a wheelchair, it just makes life so much easier for him and his family. Just for him to go outside, they don't have to carry him. He can get out of bed. It's just a vast improvement in life that he hadn't had for the past year. I think the most heartbreaking thing about this situation is that it's not that uncommon of a situation. Like, this kind of stuff happens all the time in third world countries, and it's stuff we don't even think about here in America. Like, with our lives, they're just so cushy, and it's really hard for us to understand that stuff like this happens all the time. To be able to help out people that are less fortunate than us is just, it's an incredible feeling. It's an incredible experience. And it was just such an honor to be able to help the people down there and just improving their life.
My name's Luke, and I go to Vandalia High School in Southern Illinois. After high school, I plan to go to college to major in construction management. I've been to a lot of different places for wheelchair distribution. Starting when I was 13, I went to a couple different countries in Africa, and after that, we went to Guatemala a few times, and then the latest has been Israel. It's really impacted my life just seeing how much we really have here in America and how much we take for granted, and they were all just very humbling experiences. My favorite experience would have to be Israel, just because that was whenever I knew the most about fitting wheelchairs to people who just really needed them. And it's also just a very religious culture, and it's really interesting to hear all about that. The impact we have on the people we work on will just change their lives forever, and that feeling is just something you can't really get from anything else on earth.
Hey, my name is Cade. I'm a sophomore at Evangel University with a major in biblical studies and minors in photography and in church leadership. The goal is to pursue youth ministry and church planting. This past summer, I had the amazing opportunity to go on a missions trip to areas in and around Antigua, Guatemala. The team spent the week in various areas of ministry. We spent time in the factory doing the behind-the-scenes work of building the V-line wheelchairs. We also organized the factory and helped get it ready for assembly. From the factory, we then transported some of the wheelchairs to a local orphanage in Santa Lucia, where we fitted disabled children, teenagers, and adults into brand new and extremely functional wheelchairs. Later on in the week, we actually got to go to a refuge where families had been removed from their homes because of the eruption of the volcano earlier in the summer. These families were in dire need, and we supplied them with food, coloring books, medical supplies, and of course, a whole lot of fun. My favorite thing that we did was going to the refuge. I love interacting with kids, and I got to spend a lot of time doing that. I played soccer, danced, spun kids around, and colored with them. I loved seeing the joy and the smiles on each and every single one of the kids' faces that I interacted with. Their lives were changed, and so was mine. My favorite person was definitely Diego Diaz. Diego is 18, and he's a disabled teenager who's in a wheelchair. We played puzzles for a couple of hours and did plenty of smiling, laughing, and fist pumping. His whole day was brightened, and I got to be real friends with someone whose life is so difficult and so different than mine. That day we both encouraged each other. It was so rewarding and exciting to give kids who are severely disabled a brand new wheelchair that allows them to experience a sense of freedom and functionality that they haven't had before. Their faces lit up when we spent time with them, and that made it all worth it. I loved meeting practical needs and giving of my time and efforts. The people at the orphanage and at the refuge didn't just receive supplies that, of course, will sustain them and give them encouragement to keep fighting for themselves and for their families, but these people received a hope and an excitement that the best days are ahead because God is ultimately their hope. This trip was absolutely life-changing. I got to serve, give, love, build relationships, and make tangible differences in real people's lives. Of course, I got to experience a joy that can only come when you love and serve people like Jesus does.
Hi, my name is Isaac, and I work for a construction company here in Southern Illinois. I've worked with wheelchairs and other medical supplies with the various different kinds of mission organizations. I also lived in Guatemala for several months, where I worked the wheelchair factory there and learned how to fit people to wheelchairs. Working with wheelchairs and the wheelchair recipients has had a profound effect on me in my life. It's made me appreciate what I really have, and it's truly made me want to use the talents and the gifts I've been given to help others. You always see a profound impact on the people that you give the wheelchair to. A lot of times they know as well as you do that it could be the difference between life and death, and I'm very blessed to have been able to take part in helping the people that we have, and thankful for all the people that made it possible for me.